You know what's strange? Most men think women fall for the guy who looks the best, makes the most money, or says the right pickup line. But the truth is, women fall for what they feel in your presence. And sometimes, all it takes is the right words, said with truth, timing, and confidence, to touch something deep inside her she didn't even know was waiting to be seen. Let me tell you something as a psychologist. Women are emotional detectives. They don't just hear your words, they feel the intention underneath. Most men compliment from a place of wanting something back. "You're so beautiful" really means, "Please like me." But when a compliment comes from a grounded, self-assured man who isn't trying to impress, that's when her guard drops. You see, every woman carries two layers. The surface, what she shows the world, and the hidden layer, her quiet insecurities, her unspoken need to feel seen without being judged. When you speak to that hidden layer, she starts to fall, not for your looks, not for your status, but for how you make her feel safe in her femininity. I've studied hundreds of relationship cases, and what I've learned is chillingly consistent. The men women can't forget aren't always the ones who look the best. They're the ones who say things that awaken something she's been starving to feel. It's not manipulation, it's emotional intelligence. When you know how to compliment a woman the right way, it doesn't just flatter her, it anchors you in her mind. You become the rare man who understands her beyond her appearance, and trust me, every woman craves that. But here's the painful truth most men never realize. The more desperate your compliment sounds, the less it means. If your energy says, "I need your approval," she feels it. But if your energy says, "I see you and I like what I see, whether you like me or not," she feels that even stronger. The first compliment that makes a woman fall for you is deceptively simple, but it cuts deep when said right. It's not, "You're beautiful." It's not, "You're sexy." It's, "There's something about your energy that's different." When you say this, her mind stops, her guard drops, her curiosity spikes. Because you didn't point out her looks, you pointed out something invisible, something even she doesn't fully understand about herself. Every woman wants to feel unique, not compared. When you tell her she has something different in her energy, it does two things psychologically. First, it tells her you're not like every man who's just scanning her body. You're reading her soul. Second, it gives her an emotional puzzle. She starts wondering what you noticed. That mystery creates attraction. As a psychologist, I've seen this trigger over and over again. Women are drawn to men who observe, not just see. Observation signals depth. It says, "I'm not reacting to you, I'm perceiving you." That's rare. That's magnetic. Now, here's the nuance. Your tone matters more than your words. Say it too fast, and it sounds like a line. Say it too soft, and it sounds unsure. The secret is a calm, steady voice with a small smile, the kind that says, "I've noticed something about you, and I'm not in a rush to explain it." It's not about giving her attention, it's about giving her presence. And that's what women fall for. Think about it. Most men are loud with their desire. They chase, they flatter, they overtalk. But a man who sees her, really sees her, without needing anything back, that man becomes a mirror she wants to look into. You're not saying she's different, you're saying her energy is. It's a subtle but powerful distinction. Her energy is who she is beneath all the armor, all the makeup, all the masks. It's the compliment she can't show off to others, but she feels it every time she remembers you said it. That's how emotional imprinting begins. A simple phrase, linked to a deep feeling of being understood. The compliment that makes a woman fall for you isn't about her looks, her style, or even her energy. It's about how she makes you feel. It's this: "I don't know why, but you have this calming effect on me." When a man says that with genuine warmth and composure, it strikes something primal in a woman's emotional core. Why? Because deep down, every woman wants to feel like her presence matters. She doesn't just want to be admired, she wants to be felt. This compliment tells her that simply being around her changes your state, not because she's trying, not because she's performing, but because something about her essence affects you. It gives her significance, and significance is the foundation of emotional connection. As a psychologist, I can tell you this. Women fall for men who make them feel feminine, but the reverse is equally true. Women fall for men who make them feel powerful in subtle, emotional ways. When you say she calms you, what you're really saying is, you have an impact on me. That's power, and women feel that. Here's what happens psychologically. Her nervous system syncs with yours. She feels your calm energy. Your words tell her she's not just a visual stimulus, she's an emotional presence. That realization makes her lean in, literally and metaphorically. She wants to know what it is about her that affects you that way. Suddenly, she's invested, but this only works if it's real. If you fake it, she'll know instantly. Women have an emotional radar sharper than logic can detect, so you have to ground yourself first. Take a slow breath, relax your posture, and speak it as if you're discovering the truth while you say it. You know, I don't know why, but you have this calming effect on me. And then pause. Don't explain, don't overtalk, just let it sit. That silence, that pause, is where the magic happens. Because silence gives weight to emotion. It lets her feel what you just said instead of analyzing it. Here's what most men miss. A compliment isn't about words, it's about impact. The right compliment doesn't just make her smile, it makes her remember. And the moment she starts associating peace, calm, or emotional safety with you, you stop being just another man in her life. You become an emotional anchor. The one that makes a woman emotionally attached to you isn't about admiration or even chemistry. It's about recognition. It's this. You remind me of someone I wish I'd met sooner. When you say that, something powerful happens inside her. It hits a layer of emotion that goes beyond attraction. It touches yearning. Because deep down, every woman has a quiet ache inside her, a feeling that she's never been fully understood, never fully met where she is. And when you say those words, it's like telling her, I see the part of you the world overlooked. This compliment creates instant depth. It makes her curious. Who does he see in me? It makes her nostalgic for something she never had but always wanted. That's not manipulation. That's emotional resonance. When you say this, your tone matters more than ever. It has to sound like an unfiltered thought, something that slipped out before you could control it. Soft, almost like you surprised yourself. Because women fall for authenticity, not performance. And what's really happening beneath this line is profound. You're telling her she feels familiar, not in a casual way, but in a soul-level way. That triggers trust. Familiarity feels safe. It feels destined. It feels rare. As a psychologist, I've seen how emotional bonds form around mirroring. When a woman feels mirrored by a man, when she feels that he sees her inner world without her needing to explain it, her defenses dissolve. Her ego quiets. She starts to relax into the connection. Most men chase excitement. They want to make her laugh, impress her, prove themselves. But the man who gives her recognition, who sees her as someone who could have been meant for him all along, builds something infinitely stronger. Emotional inevitability. That's when she starts replaying your conversations in her head. That's when she wonders what your texts mean. That's when she checks your messages late at night and feels that strange pull. Because she's not just thinking about you anymore. She's feeling you. But be careful. This compliment isn't a tool. It's a truth that must come from real presence. You can't use it on every woman because it only works when you genuinely feel a spark of connection. If you fake it, it loses its power. Say it when you sense that rare emotional alignment, when you both laugh at the same thought, finish each other's sentences, or share that moment of quiet comfort. Then say it softly. You remind me of someone I wish I'd met sooner. And then just look at her. Let the silence carry the weight of it. Here's the truth most men never hear. Women don't fall in love with your face, your money, or your words. They fall for the feeling they get when they're around you. They fall for how grounded they feel when you speak, how safe they feel when you look at them, and how deeply they feel seen when you say something that touches their soul. That's what these 3 compliments do. They bypass her ego and speak straight to her heart. There's something about your energy that's different. You have this calming effect on me. You remind me of someone I wish I'd met sooner. They're not tricks. They're emotional truth delivered with presence. You see, the reason most men fail in modern dating isn't because women are complicated. It's because men have forgotten how to feel before they speak. They perform instead of connect. They chase instead of attract. And when you chase, you teach her that her approval matters more than your peace. But when you lead with calm, depth, and honesty, you remind her what it feels like to be with a man who doesn't need to impress her to value her. That kind of man stands out in every room. He doesn't have to talk loudly. He doesn't have to compete. His power is quiet, because he's not seeking attention. He commands it. Every woman has met dozens of men who compliment her beauty, but only a few who make her feel beautiful without saying the word. And if you're one of those few, you'll never have to fight for her attention, because she'll offer it. She'll think about you when you're not around, not because you're chasing her, but because you made her feel something she can't forget. That's emotional imprinting. That's attraction that lasts. But remember, this only works when it's real. Don't memorize lines, understand their intention. These compliments aren't weapons, they're mirrors, reflections of how deeply you're willing to see her. The deeper you see, the deeper she feels. So before you speak to the next woman, ask yourself, am I trying to get something from her, or am I giving her the gift of feeling understood? Because that's what separates a man who gets attention from a man who leaves a legacy. Now, let me ask you something. Be honest in the comments. Which of these 3 compliments do you think would feel most natural coming from you? And which one do you feel nervous to say? I read every comment, and your answer might help another man watching this right now. If this opened your eyes, hit that like button so YouTube knows men still care about emotional intelligence. Subscribe for more real psychology from a woman's perspective. And share this video with a friend who needs to hear it. Because one day, you'll meet a woman who changes everything. And when you do, I want you to know how to talk to her heart.